Hello everyone and welcome to the 12th round of the GP4 division in the Speed Force Racing League, and we are for the 12th round of the championship in Italy for the Italian Grand Prix at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza track, one of the longest tracks on the calendar. I think it's with Silverstone the longest. It's of course the home of the Italian teams, and those are Ferrari, AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo. Let's say mostly the names with a in front, but also the three R's in Ferrari. And with 90 seconds passed by, we'll go to some drivers on the track, and we will be following SFR Paul, who is the first car out on the track. He has been led by Mindful Wasp. And if you have missed last week's British Grand Prix, then we have to inform you that the championship in GP4 has been broken wide open, because the top 3 is in between 20 points, and Beldigaris is our race leader, and Dai is only 9 points behind him, as he won last week's British Grand Prix. So the championship is heating up now, and with the first half now completed, we can move on to the second half of the season, and that's where we can now see who is gonna get it to the end, as I struggle once again with my English. But if you are familiar with us, then you know that I sometimes struggle with my English. Who is not struggling in his qualifying performance is SFR Paul. He qualified 2 or 3 times on pole position, and he wants to do it again for Ferrari. He sets the first banker time with 1:27.029. And let's see if other drivers will beat that. Let's go to one of the Aston Martins. Eric Slim has come to the top with a 22.0. Beldigaris, our championship leader, goes to 21.9. But we'll go to I'm Just In Time, a teammate of Beldigaris. I'm Just In Time qualified last week on pole position, I believe, but had a disastrous afternoon, but goes to the top with a 20.8, breaks into the 120s, as we have lost Ryan Van Doom. Rob Williams goes to 121.6. We then follow our second Ferrari with SFR Potch, who is the host today in this lobby, and he goes to 22.1. I am back again, and there's an Aston Martin going for another lap. That's Eric Slim, who has improved on his time, 21.6, just behind Rob in the Williams, and he glitched to cover turn 1. That could be a really tricky one, because you have to time those curbs quite perfectly, and we'll stay with him for the second chicane because that's exactly the same thing, where the car can just send up into the air. That orange curb, let's say, on the inside can make your car very unstable and go driving on two wheels, you know. Watch goes to P5 on the second lap on the mediums, 21.8, that's a pretty good one on the mediums. Unbeaten sign goes for another flyer on those mediums. So we want to do 2 runs on them. Okay, that's what I meant with that first curve, that orange bread we always say in the Netherlands, but everyone knows this curve who plays this game, and then if you have driven on the track, then you just know that you must avoid those curves. But I hope those drivers have qualified enough to understand those, understand the track and to understand those curves. As you can see from there, he goes around those curves, so he can just continue without having issues with those curves. And we'll stick on board if he does the same on the second chicane. Pretty much the same. And we're now going to the 2 less modes. Now into the second, 5th gear. Perfectly done. DRS open on technically the first DRS on, and through the Ascari, one of the most beautiful corners of the calendar every time. Now we're going to what was the Ascari chicane in the past, but has now been called the Alberto Corner. Takes a short line to the start finish straight and then hits a 20.8 and is now the fastest on the track. MCFC has invalidated this lap, but as it looks like he will be preparing himself for another flyer. Now he hits the throttle and Smartphone what has hit the wall after the first Lesmo, so that's not gonna help him. He goes quite cautious through the first chicane. There we saw the problem. If you hit that orange curb, then you get sent into the air and then your lap time is pretty much gone. And if you crash, then it's done with your session, and that's what NSR MCFC shows. He will start yet again on the back. It's getting a bit of a tradition for him to start at the back. I hope that isn't that he isn't trying to do that always, as Peldicaris goes to third behind his teammate. And Paul hasn't had a competitive lap time yet, but will do now with a 21.2, just in between Peldicaris and WSL. We now take a look at Hunter, who has switched from the mediums to the soft tire. Does this first sector or first corner perfectly, as it is pretty much the only corner, because this is pretty much straight, the turn 3, and it goes 2/10 over this time. The Della Rocha turn 3 I meant. But I'm starting to get used to those corner names. They're just between the track lamps, I believe. Here again, same thing, but that means he is right on the limit. He might get a token on one of the Ferraris he has in front. But the Ferrari goes out of his way. He has gone through the Ascari chicane without problem, so I'll imagine the Alberto Corner will also be without any issues. That number 45 Aston Martin. And Hunter goes to P3, Prix also into the 80 seconds with a 120.916, putting him onto the second row onto the grid. Let's move to his teammate Eric Slim, who looks to be the number 1 Aston Martin driver this year. He just slightly doesn't break into the 120s. It's a 121.008, but it will make it Aston Martin second row. Then let's go to impedance sign. Was also jumping over those curbs in the Bella Roccia. Slight drift through coming out of less mode 2. But we'll first take a look at adjusted time, who was, oh no, he is invalidated, so we'll come back to unbeaten sign. Oh, he invalidated that sky. That's unfortunate. It's a difficult corner to get completely right. But impedance sign goes into the pits and will be preparing himself for this third and final run. As we haven't seen lap times yet from Euroglass and Tommy, they might have gotten a qualifying ban, because I saw in the stewards room that there were quite a few, quite a big, quite an amount of incidents where have been taken action on, so I didn't read through them all because it didn't change the top 10, so that's the most important thing for all drivers, that they didn't lose points or gain points. Mostly gained, I should say. Let's take a look at the onboard of Euroglass. Braking for turn 1. Does that chicane quite lovely. Really maximizing that first chicane. And he can now continue to the second chicane with a 27 seconds split. Did that second chicane again perfectly. And now goes to the Ascari chicane. Hasn't invalidated his lap currently. Now goes onto the final straight. And setting a 21.5, puts him P9 currently. And is the only driver currently who will finish the lap. The rest is up. Excuse me for an out lap, so we'll have to wait until we see further action. As if our pole was crashed, his tire goes to the top with a 120.5, so that's a really fast time. Don't know if that time is gonna be beaten. Hunter is going into lap single for Eric Slim, but the car race is already invalidated, so I think that's going fine for him. Oh, Hunter has spun in the first last mode, so his qualifying is going to be over. Let's follow Eric Slim, who is the closest to the finish line with a flying left as a purple second sector. That's positive. There he goes. How's his final sector gonna be? Oh, he lost a 10th, so he finishes 4th and not in potential 2nd place. We'll go to I'm just in time. He lost 3 tenths, so we'll see if he's gonna make that time up. Has to do a pretty good sector to do that. And he goes quite close. He doesn't improve, but has a really good final sector. But doesn't improve 8 thousandths of his time. Then we will go to only unbeaten sign. He's 6 tenths up on this time, and we will jump Rob Williams and Ariel Glass's teammate to finish this qualifying session in P9. We only have to wait for Peltigaris to cross the line, and then we will go to the race as he goes into the pits. So he will start 6th with his championship rival starting in pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. Here are the results. With 9:36 on pole position with a 120.5. SFR pole starts for Ferrari on the also on the first row, so the Tifosi is gonna be happy with that. I'm just in time 3rd, Eric Slim 4th, Hunter 5th, Pellicaris the championship leader in 6th, Pod 7, WSL 8, Unbeaten Design 9th, Glass 10, Rob Williams 11th, Mindful was 12th, Shadowlands in 13th, and without the time had the Alpha Tauri squad with MCFC and Ryan Van Doom, and Tommy in the Mercedes also didn't have a lap time. So that's it for qualifying. We'll move on to the race. I don't know how's the weather gonna be. It's beautiful weather in Italy, on the northwest of Italy, close to Milan. It's gonna be a dry race, Glass tells us, so we are happy with that. The formation lap is underway, and we'll go as usual through the grid. Paul missed his turn around completely, but Dive 36 starts in pole position, Paul second, and just in time in third. Then we have the Aston Martin duo with Eric Slim and Hunter. Pellicari starts in 6th. Potch in 7th place for the Scuderia, Avis WSL. Then the 5th row we have the McLaren duo with Unbeaten Design and Glass. And outside the top 10 you can choose for a different tire. Those are Rob Williams, Mindful was, Shadowlands, was collided with Tommy Gunner, both starting on the mediums. Esva MCFC decides to start on the soft, and Ryan Van Doom also on the medium. Drivers are lining up on the grid, as we'll be waiting for the other cars to get into their grid slots. The lights are coming on now, 5 reds are on, And now they are off for the Italian Grand Prix, and who's gonna have the greatest start? Will SFR go into lead? But no! The Haas and the Alpine, I believe, did already collide. And the eye brakes too late for turn 1, so he had to cut off that chicane. Gets immediately a 3-second time penalty. So that's already a big problem for him, as Eric Slim moves into third and just in time loses place onto fourth. Onto fifth, Belligari as staying in P6. We have steady yellow. And hopefully he's now going all okay through the further part of this first lap. But we have the Ferrari of Paul in the lead. And that's what the Italian fans really want to see. We have a yellow, that's for Poch, who has crashed because he doesn't seem like to have a front wing. Oh, he still has, so that the camera angle was looking at really bad. As Mindful was has lost his front wing, so he will return to the pits. Let's take a look at the position changes. Well, the top 4 has always switched one place, gained or lost. FCC has the best out of them all, who gained 6th place. This is now running in 8th place, behind WSL. And Shadowlands and Tommy have further gone. One places, and Poch is the biggest loser of them all. Eric Slim is the fastest on the track, and now MCFC is, so the pace at the front isn't that high as we might expect normally from our leading pack, as I'm just in time goes too hot into turn 1. The chicane where we have seen multiple overtakes but also multiple accidents. And Tommy's car was ghosted, so it doesn't seem like he had contact with Ralph Williams in front. We'll take a look at Ericsson closely. I wasn't paying attention because Paul has lost the lead, but will now have a massive slipstream effect because he goes now to the outside of Paul, but Slim will have the amazing slipstream going into turn 1, but Paul has 2nd place. And Slim has to back out of this, and I'm just in time is also playing the game. As Hunter can't fill up this space at the moment, is just inside the 1 second, but also has to take a look behind for Belligari, who is at his back, so we have a top 6 with 3rd to 6 Aston Martin Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin Alfa Romeo. Pot's fastest lap, 22.9. It has a lovely toe on Ryan van Doom for P14. Ryan van Doom was stronger on the brakes. They go side by side through the first chicane. And Ryan van Doom seems to have the better exit. That's what you call it. We will go back to the top, to the lead, should say. As Paul brakes really late for this last corner. As Ty and Paul goes side by side before the DRS even opens, so that could be hint for Eric Slim to make a move. Ty has the DRS, but that isn't always an advantage. We take a look back at his rear camera view as Eric Slim goes around the outside. Oh, the two made contact and I'm just in time wants to use the switching now from Eric Slim to get past Paul, but oh, they touch through the De La Rocha. And now again under braking. And now Paul has to run off. Oh, it's got a free ride almost going into the last mode. We have Hunter and just in time still touching each other. Hunter goes a little bit right through the second last mode. And now they are weaving a bit. And just in time let Hunter know that he doesn't go through there, and he didn't go for it. As MCC has passed Pelligaris. Pelligaris is losing some places at the moment because VSL is also battling with him as we see side by side action between Hunter, Kiji and Paul. VSL has passed Pelligaris, so Pelligaris drops another place as he was 2 laps ago in 6th place. Oh, Pelligaris is here going for the inside up to P5. MCFC in that Alpha Tauri is on fire now. As the top is pretty close now between Dai and Eric's Slim. Those closing in opponents, let's say, for Pelligaris in the championship. Eric Slim was last week quite a bit disappointed. He made a mistake as we I'm just in time has lost it, and we have referred to safety car for pretty much nothing. But anyway, so we can take a breath, and then we'll go back to racing in a few seconds time. Ryan van Doom and Potts has decided to pit. We'll take a look at the top. And we'll go back. MCFC has got a drive-through and does this immediately. As I saw a move being made, yeah, Paul made a great launch. So just in time also gets a penalty, as there's literally a train connected battle here between Paul in Ferrari, Hunter in the Aston Martin and VSL in the Alpine. Three brands with the most famous going to the less famous brand. And now the top two has broken away with 3 seconds, so if we just finish the race by now, Dai only will lose 1 place, so he would be happy if it stays like this, but I'm sure he wants to lose that 3-second penalty, and I'm sure the stewards will remove that penalty because he didn't gain much of an advantage there. but wants Slim to get past Die. Doesn't really look like it that he's going full throttle, but so Die defends. VSL goes into the pitch. Is this a strategy or a front wing change? It is a front wing change. Then he decides to go for the hard tire. That's an interesting one because you can run from this to the medium to the end. As the front is really close now. Die is still in the lead. With a ghost Ferrari of Poch, so Poch has been lapped. Not what we want to see. But Paul has closed in by almost a second, so I also think he is using his ERS quite heavily, as we also seen from him last week, where he had amazing pace at the end. As Poch wants to unlap himself, which is fair to do, of course. Well, Paul is really burning his ERS, because he's now 1.8 and has completely run away from Hunter. No change currently at the top. Slim does now try to get the lead. Goes around the outside, but yeah. No change, but there was some contact made between those two. But Paul is now back in the game. He has no DRS on Slim, so he can now battle with them. As it is that our lap cars are ghosted. As you can see, he's right on his rear. And now goes overtake him through his car. Don't know if that is allowed, but it is allowed for us. But this also gives Die an advantage because he will get into the DRS of Poch, because the system sees that it is in second of the car ahead. Poch goes quite wide, as mindful was as part of that turnaround. Oh, Die goes into the pits, so he goes maybe for an undercut against those two. And Pelligaris go with him. Both McLaren stay. And Euroglass go past his teammate. P3 it is for him. And the medium tire, of course, being chosen by those on the softs who are running on their strategy. VSL crossing with a hard tire. Don't know if that's a good choice. Will the top two react? We'll take a look. We'll follow Eric Slim and then we will later see if SFR Paul goes with him. That will be interesting, of course. But Paul seems to have had a really good pace. Or his ERS is just burned up. Not really burned up, but Slim and Paul both go into the pits. So that's the advantage for Potch. So he can now make the gap. And for him trying to not get lapped. Also, Paul and Slim go to the soft. Am I right? Yes, I am right. So let's follow them, go on board and see where they are. Just enough for our guy to get ahead of Slim. And have now his tires on complete temperature. And Slim and Paul have to work on that currently. And 6 seconds ahead we have those drivers who are currently out on the mediums, but I don't think that they will catch them if they just have keeping their normal pace, with Rob Williams in third, Shadowlands in second, and currently our race leader in being inside. We have yellow, what's going on here? Earlier class and just in time WSL must be battling. Mine Boas gets 10 seconds for corner cutting, and then he just crashes deliberately. I not sure what the steward's gonna think about that, because he has been mentioning quite a lot of stewards meetings. So beating signs at the Lance and Rob Williams just get pretty much a free pit stop. So we will have Dyer in the lead again. Eric Slim second, Paul third, Hunter fourth. But the guy is fifth and unbeaten sign just gets a free gift 6th place. WSL is on the hard. Shadowlands has chosen the soft tire, which is fair enough to do. Rob Williams also on the soft. If they can manage them, they can also get into the end, I believe. So we'll see how they will manage that. Tommy goes for the hard. Just in time for the soft, early request for the soft. FCC for the medium. And Ryan Van Doom on the older set of mediums, but it's good enough now. And Potch goes back to the medium and is back in the race because the safety car Kilas just passed Ascari and he is just exiting the pit lane. So that's the advantage for him. We only had 2 time penalties. We saw the first from Dyer, which was in the first level, the first corner, and Paul did it later into the race, so they both have 3-second time penalty. Potch crashed out for the Ascari. Not a great place to do. So He shot himself in the foot with that. And Pochin also done, so we have only to wait on Ryan Van Doom to join the pack. So then we can continue with the race. And if he does it on time, we can already have it on this lap. Silica will continue for another lap. That's an advantage for those on the softs. So they can use them one lap longer. Then we'll have 12 laps of racing left after this one. As Ryan Van Doom now joins the pack. So if you want to have a quick pee or get some meat in front of your screens, then now go for it. We are gonna restart the race with Dai deciding when he wants to go. Is it going to be now or later? It does seem he does want to go now. He has a great cap because it's already a second, and it's already second from the pole, so it's actually quite boring one. As Peldicaris decides to go into the pit, so he might have taken damage. As VSL is really close with a lovely shot is this from the helicopter view. Just not contact made between those two. And Beat inside just have to traction because he has softer rubber. But I can watch this shot all day, ladies and gentlemen. Will he go for the outside? He wants to go for it. And he does it. Great move from WSL 0546 for P5. And now we have Shadow Lancer on the soft, challenging SFR Pole. We're struggling on those mediums. And Tom gets into P3. So we have now a Williams 1-3, and let's see if he has more laps into this soft tire. 24.2 is a new personal lap time for Shadowlancer. And we now go to battle for P5. As that's going to be free wide potentially. Well, it is, but we are so brakes very late. And Unbeaten Sign gets the place back. But Delvigaris is the biggest loser out of this, because he's now... Oh no, I'm just in time, my apology. I'm just in time was on the edge of getting P5, but WSL misjudged him his braking, so he dropped to P8. So we have a big train for this P5, so Ryan Verdum gets the third 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As I'm just in time. Is he going for it there? Well, he waits to make the move. As DRS is not available for now, will be available this lap, but let's go on board with MCFC. As just in time is defending the inside and beaten side. Has to go for the outside line, and we have seen that it could be like, oh, contact between MCFC and the beaten sign. It's the damage made. Oh, Rubber Williams has cocked it, so he drops out of the top 10. Beaten sign has to stick with that just in time, but as for Paul is really dropping the pace with those mediums. Don't know what's going on. As Shadowlancer is already 5 seconds on the road. But that's... So he must have damage, I think. No, he doesn't have damage, then he just doesn't have the pace. Because I can't imagine those mediums are too bad. And he was exceeding the track limits quite heavily, as also someone behind him did the same. So this is going to be a tough last few laps of the race for our Paul. Because here you can see Unbeaten Sign will overtake him. And MCFC wants to go with him, but I think he's too far away. No, he isn't. And he'll make the move here. Oh, that's pretty late braking for MCFC. And as a wrong approach to that second curb. Will Paul fight back? No. MCFC I think had a moment through Della Roccia. And now Paul is vulnerable for WSL, and he is on the hard tires and just keeping a quite better pace than Paul has with those mediums. So I wonder what's going on there. Paul must be frustrated under that helmet, because he was first fighting for the top 3 and now he's just fighting to stay in the points. Here goes WSL up to P7 for the European driver, and that makes Paul vulnerable for aerial glass in 8th. No, he's already alongside him. Here goes Paul, he has to hear. What a move, and it's going to be free wide into turn 1. No, it isn't, but Aeroglass wants to make a double move. It's not gonna work out. But he has the soft tire against the hard tire of the Alpine head. It doesn't seem like he's going to make the move here. He's looking for the inside, but he backs out of it. Good decision by Aeroglass. VSL made a mistake. And a few class overtakes him before let's move 2. We haven't seen that for a while. The VSL comes back and then great racing for P7 it is. As MCFC has passed unbeaten sign. And VSL has passed Euroglass, so both McLarens have now lost places on the same straight. As MCFC gets a penalty. As Paul goes again really wide out of the Ascari. And Euroglass has overtaken VSL. Only, I think they both broke for the arrest. It's quite fun to see. Don't think that's allowed here in SFR, but it's not my case. As Paul has broke to get in the pits and gets a 5-second time penalty with it. Ryan breaks into the top 9. MCFC and Unbeaten Sign are battling with each other. Yeah, Tommy and Ryan close to each other. MCFC again touch the rear of Unbeaten Sign. But no issues further made. DRS has now been activated by MCFC. So you make the move here, it's too far away. Oh, a mistake by the Unbeaten Sign. So MCC now just have to stay close with him, but will he make the move on the inside? Unbeaten Sign could break for him, and he was lifting. But now to go side by side through the Alberto Corner. I think they were touching there, as Euroglass is also closing in on them. MCC has the DRS, has the better top speed, and now breaks into the top 5. Oh, Unbeaten Sign broke later than him. Oh, Unbeaten Sign has a run. He has a run. Will he make a move? He has to go the outside. MCFC makes a mistake. And that's what Unbeaten Sign really wants to see. He already has an advantage because MCFC has a penalty. So he will drop behind him. Trying to do VSL battling. Oh, there, contact mate. What's going to happen there? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. VSL made the bed crash. And that's going to be a safety car. I'm sure. Don't know what really happened because we didn't have the camera to check really what happened. But Ryan van Doom and VSL were battling and VSL is off. I wonder where the safety car is. But no safety car, we are just going to continue with Tommy Gunner and Rob Williams. We'll take a look at the rear of Tommy, and here we will see the Haas coming, and Rob Williams fly past him, and now brakes too late for the first chicane, and then just lost all the hard work he has done, so he has to start from where he was a lap ago. Possesses a fast lap, 1:22.221, quite a funny lap time, if you ask me. Unbeaten Sign is now getting close, is starting to close in on MCFC. Has DRS now on. If you look at his dashboard, he has only 8% of ERS, so he hasn't got much to play with, so Rob Williams passed him quite early on that straight, so Tommy must have made a mistake. As Slim is getting closer to the rear of Dai. Dai already has a freezing time penalty, but he will lose the race virtually. as we only have 4 laps left in the Italian Grand Prix. It has flown by. As Shadowlancer starts to drop the pace. It was 2.5 seconds and now 3.6. As the subs will start to struggle now a bit. So that might make Rob Williams again with vulnerable for Ryan, Van Dul and Tommy. But maybe they can survive. Oh, Eric Slim has really closing up now on Die. He just has hit the ERS, or the DRS I should say. He doesn't want to make a move now, so he will wait. So they may have a battle. Then we'll go to the battle for P5. We'll stay on board with Unbeaten Sign. It's too far away now. Then we'll go back to the lead with Diver the 6 in the lead and Eric Slim in second. Also just in time is ruling in Shadowlancer, so that could be we could expect a battle between those two if I'm just in time just keeps getting into it. As our championship leader retires, so we will have a new championship leader going into the next race to Australia, I believe. So it will be either Die of Eric Slim. I'll have to check. We'll get to those two now, as I'm gonna check the standings. If it stays like this. Die will be our new championship leader, and Eric Slim, who, as we expect, who gonna hit the 25 points, will only stay in 9 points of Die, and Die will, with his 18 points, move 19 points up on Pelligaris. So we're gonna have a new leader after 12 rounds of racing, because Pelligaris has been on top from the start of the season in Bahrain in January, I believe. January, February. But Eric Slim doesn't want to let Die win with his penalty. Got a yellow for Ryan Van Dul hitting the gravel. Ah, the MCFC is off! Oh, MCFC is off. That's unfortunate for him. We will go back to the front. DRS has been opened by Eric Slim. Will he make it to the outside? Yes, he will. But I doesn't want to let him win that on-track battle. Side by side they're going. Die catching on the traction. But Eric Slim will try to make a move at the Della Roccia chicane. But Die closes the door on him. Good job by the Williams driver. And just in time has crashed, so the podium for Shadowlancer is safe. So he will be pleased with that one. Oh, Eric Slim made a mistake at the second last move, so that will affect his run to the Ascari to Die. But he's starting to go at the moment, coming out of the first left, right, left of the Ascari. but that's going to be this race, otherwise he'll make a big dive on air, which he's not gonna do. He hit a penalty on the first lap, but he has been dominant all race long. Dai is your on-track race winner, but Eric Slim is your race winner of the Italian Grand Prix, with Shadow Lancer is on the podium. From outside the top 10 he goes to the podium. Unbeaten Sign wins the battle from his teammate. Earlier class 5th. Rob had a really good finish at the end with 6th. Tommy will finish in 7th place. Both AlphaTauris are crossing the line with each other. MCC 8, Ryan Van Doom 9th. Then we will wait on Hunter, who finishes 10, and Paul is the last driver to finish, and it's a place where you don't score points. P11 he finishes. Shadow Lancer is your driver of the day, because Cox isn't there tonight, so then we have a different driver of the day. A customers Mercedes podium we have with Eric Slim hitting the 25 points. Dai in 2nd place, but he will take over the championship lead, and Shadow Lancer goes onto the final spot on the podium. And he will jump onto 6th place in the championship, just 1 point behind Cox, who was 5th in the championship. So he has also things to fight for. Here are the results, with Eric Slim in P1, Dai 2nd and Shadow Lancer in 3rd. And that's your top 3 for today. Unbeaten Sign and Early Class brings home a fantastic top 5 for McLaren. Rob Williams 6, Tommy 7, MCFC 8, Ryan Van Doom 9th, Hunter 10th, Paul with the fastest lap at 11th, and the retirements are M9, Peldigaris, WSL, Poch and Mindful Wasp. I am going to invite the top 3, so I'll be back in a minute. I have invited the top 3 and we will go to the showroom. That's going to be the Williams car, no, the Aston Martin car of Eric Slim. Let's see if one of the drivers is going to us. It will be interesting if they will, of course. If we won't get one in first 60 seconds, we will stop the broadcast, but we won't because Eric Slim joins us for the interviews. So we're gonna start off with you.
Good evening.
Good evening. You finished second, but won the race, so I'm sure you're quite happy with this victory.
Yeah, for sure. I hope it sticks. That he doesn't get his penalty removed.
Yeah, I also think that his penalty is going to be removed, but with Pelligaris now retiring, you are closing in on. I think you're jumping now over him with 9 points. So how do you feel about that?
Well, that's good. We like that. Yeah. Pelli has been in the lead of this championship, I think, from the very first race. So nice to see a little change in the standings. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be leading, but anyways.
Yeah, but you never know what's going to happen further into the championship. So thank you for you this week, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Then we will move on to Dai, I believe.
Hey mate, how you doing?
Hello. So you are now our new championship leader. So how does it feel?
Yes, it's a bit mad, like Slim says. Pelli's he's led the championship since the first round. It's been a catch-up game. He's been so consistent. So yeah, I think Slim's not far off either team put the pressure on the last couple of weeks. So it's good to be leading it, but how long it lasts, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, you have a 19 points lead going into Australia, so it could be a quite comfortable cap, but it's not the biggest cap in the world.
Yes, it's not a lot. You know, it can easily get taken away in one race. So unfortunately, I'll be racing Australia, but I'll be missing Singapore the week after. I'll be away. So this is I'm not sure what I'll come back to, but hopefully they'll be still in the fight with Slim and with Pelli.
Yeah, so make sure you make up a cap next week so you can miss them without missing too much.
I'll do my best. That's all I can promise.
We know. Did Shadowlands join us, or?
I'll send it. I'll fire in a quick invite now.
Okay, thanks for that. Shadowlands who gone from P12 I believe to 3rd, so he did a phenomenal race and has been called our driver of the day.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just looking for him then. Yeah, before you do interview Tom, Shadowlands, I was gonna say, like, fair play to him. He wasn't happy in qualifying, but he's got on the podium, so shout out to him. He's got to be very good at it. Absolutely.
That's a really good compliment for your teammate as he joins our party. So
hello.
Hello, from outside the top 10 to the podium must be a welcoming result for you.
Definitely, mate. Be honest, I've been so off it since Canada. It's like, granted, I got a few good, decent results here and there, but it's been the same as last season, but with a bit more of a competitive field. It's like 1 week I'm in the points and 1 week I'm out. But yeah, coming into this, after I bowled it in the my final run on quali, I just thought I wasn't even going to get in the points today. But hey, what at that age?
Yeah, and in the championship you were also moving up to 6th place and 1 point behind 5th place. So hopefully you can continue this momentum you had today.
Yeah, I hope so. I think coming into Austria is it's a fun. I think it's a fun but demanding track because I think it's definitely one of the most rewarding in the calendar. But the problem is turns 11 and 12. I think that could be a real race killer if you're not careful. But hey, good track. Can't wait for next week. But yeah, on to the next one.
Yeah, it's pretty much an old school track where your mistakes are gonna be paid if you run to the grass or the gravel or whatever they have there. But you also have been called driver of the day, so congratulations with that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cheers, mate. Also, congrats on the top 2. Good job keeping Slim behind, and obviously despite the penalty. But yeah. Also, I feel a little bit sorry. I feel genuinely sorry for him just in time because I think had he not binned it, he would have had me. My heart goes out to him. Cracking driver. He's definitely showing so much improvement going. But hey, he'll have his moment one day. He'll find his way.
I haven't caught that on stream, but thanks for letting us know, because I saw him dropping off the list.
Yeah.
But
hard one.
But I'm sure that's the Italian Grand Prix for us today.
Yeah, it is.
GP3, GP2, and don't think GP1 is there this week, but we will be back to you from tomorrow and for Wednesday for this. So have a good night everyone, and we'll see you next week for the GP4, the Australian Grand Prix.